Galactic greetings to thee. It is I, David Gramillion, your ever so humble host of the Star Wars Geeks podcast, and I'm doing another review of the Clone Wars. And I'm happy to say that this is going to be my absolute last review of the Clone Wars before it comes out on Netflix. Right now, I'm watching them through less than ethical means, but at least I'm able to get these reviews out and watch the show. Still in season one. These two episodes that I saw here is called Trespass and The Hidden Enemy. And yes, I'm going to have plenty to talk about the Clone Wars coming out on Netflix when that happens on March 7th. Tomorrow night's show, which if you're interested in the show, links are all down here. Make sure to be there at 8 o'clock Central for the start of the show. The party starts at 7, though. We play like an hour of Star Wars music, rock music, all sorts of just really great music starts beforehand. These two episodes is called Trespass and The Hidden Enemy. And they're not great episodes. Like the last two that I watched, they're pretty forgettable. They're not awful. They're not bad episodes per se, but they're just not outstanding episodes. They're not abominations or something that would offend God in any way. They're just forgettable. The first one, let's talk about Trespass. Trespass, again, it drops you right in the middle of the action. Anakin and Obi-Wan are accompanying two dignitaries to a moon or planet. I'll get to that here in a second. Where their outpost has been wiped out. They don't know what happened to it. So they get there, they show up, they find out that there are actually natives on the planet, there are inhabitants, and somehow a fight broke out, a disturbance occurred, and these natives just ran everything over. They just took care of everything. So the real problem is, right from the beginning. Right, and yes, I'm sorry, my phone is pinging, and so I'm turning it off now. It's my bad. We add that to the blooper reel, I guess. Right from the beginning, I mentioned this in my last review. I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about being dropped right in the middle of the action. And now it happened again, and I'm not a fan. I'm not liking this. The exposition is thrown out in the intro. We don't know anything. We don't know who these two dignitaries are. We don't know how they were chosen. We don't know who chose them. We don't know why them. We don't know what the problem is with this moon. We didn't see the Jedi Council concerned with this. Or we didn't see the Republic military ordering this. We don't know how they even learned about this to begin with. We don't know why this place is important. It's just, it's important. Send them, go, boom, you're there. Here's the episode. It kind of reminds me of showing up at a restaurant and you sit down and you don't get to order food. Somebody just brings you a plate of something and puts it right there in front of you and says, eat it. You're not sure what it is. You're not sure what it's called. It looks like it's some type of meat, but you're not really sure. And you don't know who the cook was that made it. And you don't know anything about it. And you don't know how much it costs. It's just, boom, there it is. Eat it. I'm not really a fan of that. I like at least a little background. If the characters are going to be critical to this episode, I feel like I need to know more about them than just their dignitaries. Okay. I guess. I've never even heard of this planet before, so why is it so important? I need that little reasoning that I'm missing. I'm missing that puzzle piece. So they get down there and they find out that it's the natives that have been attacking both a droid base that was built there and their outpost. And Obi-Wan and Anakin go to investigate. Now they already know that it's natives, and they know that they're being watched by the natives. And Anakin asks the obvious question when they find the natives' village. Why didn't we bring 3PO? And I'm sitting there like, wow, he asked the question before I even had a chance to ask the question. They knew the natives were there. Why didn't they bring 3PO to translate? Oh, okay, all right. Well, this is going to be great. Obi-Wan's going to show some real wisdom. He's going to do this whole nonverbal sign language thing. Anakin's going to learn a lesson about how you don't need droids and you can communicate through the power of gestures. and it doesn't happen. It was a missed opportunity, really. Pretty much all we learn is that they know how to draw, um, and somehow Obi-Wan communicates the promise of peace. Okay, I felt that was really a missed opportunity to show some of the strength of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Uh, and then, okay, so Obi-Wan and Anakin go back to their base. And the whole episode, we've seen, remember, there are two dignitaries. There's a senator and a chairman. And I'm not really told what the difference is, except that the senator is young and inexperienced, and the chairman is a jackass. That's kind of all I know. I don't know really. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know what the chairman does. I kind of guess what the senator does, but it's murky at best who's in charge. The senator, and they keep talking about how the Jedi report to the Senate, but the Senate appeals to the Jedi, and the chairman runs this planet, which has jurisdiction over a moon, but the moon has... Okay, but the senator can appeal to the Jedi on behalf of the people who live on the moon. Okay, yeah, it's not made clear. So the whole episode we've seen so far that this guy is horribly prejudiced. He's all about his people, his race's dominance, and how they own this moon planet thing, and how he won't tolerate anything else at all. Unless, I guess, the Republic is there. I guess that's okay. And for some reason, Obi-Wan and Anakin show back up, and they say, okay, we found the natives. They want peace. We're going to negotiate with them. Since y'all are native to the planet nearby, y'all should be the ones to negotiate, which makes sense. Except that they bring the chairman along, who's already said he's not interested in peace, who's already said he's not interested in anything the natives have to say or think or offer. He's called them savages and barbarians and animals and all this, and yet they bring him along. What do you think's going to happen? Of course, he blows the negotiations. War breaks out. Everyone's under attack. These natives are really fierce creatures who know the terrain, who are really good warriors, and I just... Okay. So you brought along a prejudiced, bigoted man to do your negotiating for you. Good job! Okay. And there are several times where the planet where they came from is referred to as a moon and a planet. And there are several times where they're on, which is a big, giant, Hoth-looking ball of ice, is also referred to as a moon and a planet. And I'm not sure which it is. It was confusing enough when they did the forest, moon of Endor, because moon kind of implies that it doesn't have any atmosphere. It just, moons can have atmosphere, but you need to... Where's the planet, and which one's the planet, which one's the moon? It doesn't even matter at this point, because I'm so lost in this episode, it's not even funny. All right, so eventually the chairman is killed, and the senator, who's been timid and shy up to this point, finally owns up and mans up, however you want to call it, and makes peace with the natives. Hooray! I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. I get whatever. Unless she becomes a big character later on, that'd be kind of cool to see. But other than that, but there were a few good things. I mean, this is a heartwarming episode, and we learn the power of diplomacy and how to be nice with people and how to get along with people, and that's really appropriate in the Geeks group where heated discussions tend to break out about the prequel trilogy or the original trilogy or the expanded universe or comics or what Disney's doing or whatever. There's a lesson to be learned. Just saying. Another positive thing, there were no lightsabers used in this episode at all, which I applaud that. I was grateful to see the Jedi work with no lightsabers. Now they didn't really do anything at all. But it was refreshing to see an episode where they didn't have to pull out a lightsaber every 5 seconds. And at least it wasn't a human who was the bad guy. I was waiting for some prejudiced white guy who just Captain Custer all over again. Colonel Custer's all over again. I was waiting for that. And, okay. Thankfully, that didn't happen. I was glad to get through that episode. Now, the next episode, called The Hidden Enemy. Let me scroll down through my notes here. The Hidden Enemy, and it's more of the same. I mean, we go from this frozen moon planet place to now we're being dropped into the middle of this other planet. I even forget its name because it's only mentioned like twice. Christoph or Christofferson or Christophsis or something. I don't. It's only mentioned a couple times, so I don't care. But already, we know from the introduction, it's under siege. It has been for a while. The Separatists are there. Then they wind to the Jedi, and the Jedi send troops. And we learn all that in 10 seconds. Maybe 15. So what's the hierarchy of the New Republic, of Old Republic's military forces? Why didn't they appeal to Admiral so-and-so or General so-and-so or to their senator or something? Why are the Jedi running the military? Because I've seen generals and admirals order Jedi around, and I'm not really sure who, because the Jedi are keepers of the peace, according to Mace Windu. They're not warriors, but are they in charge of the military? How does Tarkin feel about all this? It's muddled. It's confused. So, if this planet was under siege from the Separatists, why wasn't the Republic already involved? Why didn't they send a fleet over there to go blast the Separatists out? And if they don't have the ships to send, that's one thing, but they don't explain it. I need an explanation. Have they been stretched too thin? What's going on here? You just can't ignore a siege of this really highly sophisticated planet. It just dropped right in the middle of the action. Okay, so our heroes, Anakin and Obi-Wan, are setting up an ambush for this battalion of droids that's coming their way. And it turns out that the droids already knew they were coming. They spoil the ambush. Anakin has to save their lives, and they get out of there, but out of a high cost. They lose quite a few troopers in the process. And they figure out that there's a traitor. Somebody left a comm link sitting down on a panel, and it's open, so it was broadcasting, right, everything that they were saying. So they get all the clones together, the surviving troopers, and they start grilling him. And I can't help but wonder, if you have a comm link from somebody, shouldn't you just go down the line checking to see who has a missing comm link and go, wow, we have one, you don't. Put 2 and 2 together and you can make 4, right? So, all right, so they find out that who the traitor is, and it leads to an interesting little. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll get to that in a little bit. So Obi-Wan and Anakin are out running around. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. I think they're checking the perimeter or something, and eventually they take it upon themselves, for some reason, to go all the way to the Separatist headquarters by themselves. Even though they just saw about 1,000 battle droids around and tanks and air power, they decide on their own to go to the Separatist headquarters to take care of it, I guess, to get them out of there. And they comment on how easy it is, how they know they're being watched, but nobody's trying to stop them. There are no battle droids. There's nothing trying to get in their way. It's like they want them to get there. And sure enough, there's Ventress. Right as the doors open, it's a kind of a Darth Maul Phantom Menace moment. Bam! There's Ventress, and she pulls out her lightsabers, the cloak drops, and they start dueling. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. There's no build-up to this. They didn't know Ventress was there. It was a total surprise. I'm bad, you're good, let's fight. There are no other battle droids. I don't know what's at stake. The animation was good, but I don't care about the duel. There was no build-up to it. It was so fast. All of it happened so fast. Okay, yay, they duel. Hooray, and then they escape and run away. Pointless. The only point about it was Ventress had to get the Jedi away from their troopers, I guess, so that their trooper could escape and not be interrogated by the Jedi. I guess. I'm not sure. And when it turns out that it's some guy named Slick who betrayed them, again, I don't know Slick. We have never heard him before. I don't know the name. I don't know who he is. I don't care. If it was somebody that had been with them since the very beginning, from the first episode, that would have the shock value. That would be a great moment to see him betray his comrades that I've seen for like 10 episodes now. But this is the first episode he's been in, so I don't... The shock value is gone. I just, oh wow, he betrays his comrades. Oh, it's so terrible. I guess. Okay. Which leads me to an interesting question. Is it possible for a clone to turn traitor? Aren't these guys programmed in their DNA at the very basic levels to be loyal to the Emperor or Palpatine or New Republic? Whoever? Isn't that part of who they are? It's like taking your laptop right here, this thing, and it's programmed to do what I want it to. Microsoft Word and Facebook and Twitter and play games and whatever. And then all of a sudden it just decides, no, I'm not going to open your Internet Explorer. I'm not going to open Chrome. No, I'm not going to do it. No. Mm-mm. You know, you click a little icon all you want. Click, 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 click. No, I'm not going to do it. Maybe it is. Because what's interesting is what we learned that Ventress offered him. Sure, she offered him money. Okay, all right. But he indicates that Ventress offered him freedom. Oh, now that made me sit up a little bit. That's very interesting. Do the clones feel imprisoned? Do they feel shackled? Do they feel that they have to... do they feel like slaves? I've brought this point up many, many times, that the Republic created an entire race, millions and millions of clones as cannon fodder. They don't get to vote. As far as I know, they don't get paid. They don't get a retirement plan. They have no representative in the Senate. So to offer a clone freedom, and he's willing to turn traitor for freedom, that's a high point. I love that moment. I really hope we get to explore it more. I know in season 6 they really allude to what the clones are, how they think, how they work, how everything is. This is our first glimpse into that they may want something different, and I applaud that. Overall, again, they're not bad episodes. I think I liked Trespass more than The Hidden Enemy. Just, again, another couple of forgettable episodes. I kind of run into a little glut here where they're just not that good. Okay, so coming up on the show, which is Monday night, which, if you're seeing this on Sunday, would be tomorrow night. Of course, we got the Sarlacc pit. We're going to throw people in for you. Of course, we're going to talk about Twitter and how we're on iTunes and all that fun stuff that we got going on. But, oh yeah, of course, we're covering Season 6 of the Clone Wars. We're going to cover some Episode 7 news, including a strongly rumored character confirmation. If you can have a strongly rumored confirmation. If you can have that, you'll find it on our show. There's no question about that. So come down to channel1138.com for the Geeks home for your podcast. And, well, wait a minute. That will make this the first show of the month, and that means it's Attack of the Callers! That's right. This is the first show of every month I devote to you guys. I am a man of the people, and if the people want to call in, knock themselves out. I do a segment, we talk about Rebels, you call in, talk about Rebels. We talk about Episode 7, you call in, talk about Episode 7. And then at the end, it's a free-for-all. Anything you want, any topic, anything you want, Star Wars, it goes. You want to talk about my novels? Talk about my novels. You want to talk about the prequels, expanded universe, Battlefront, anything you want. Doesn't matter. You call in, you run the show. So we'll see y'all, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Central Time in the United States. 7 o'clock Central is the start of the party. So stay geeky, and may the Force be with you all.